Not really. It's a lot of his personnel, so knowing tendencies. When Steph comes back, obviously you have to be a lot more aggressive on him, and but if not, obviously with Andre, you have to be aggressive, just not in the same way. So it's just tendencies, player to player. Schemes are pretty much still the same.
Do you think it'll mean anything for you guys if last time y'all went in there, y'all were able to get that win at Oracle? You know, the first time since like 2012 or something like that.
I don't think we knew that, but I do think getting the win helps with our confidence, knowing that we could play in a place like that, of that caliber, how loud it is. Just being able to go up against the champs and hold our own. So I do think that last win helped us out a lot.
What did y'all do well in that game that you've struggled against them in other chances?
I'd say turnovers. We had a lot of turnovers in previous games. I think last game we probably had like 6 or 8, and before that it was up in the 20s. So obviously with them, they're probably top 3 in transition points. I'm just throwing that out there. They're probably number 1, but especially with the way they shoot, how they attack the basket, how they play defense. So I do think that was probably the biggest part to some of our losses was our turnovers.
How much have you guys already scouted them before you even got to today, and how much have you installed defensively and all that kind of stuff?
Right. Just being able to watch the games, see what they did against San Antonio, having a little break so that we can actually mentally prepare and do all that stuff. So I do think we've had an advantage in that way, just having time off and everybody just locking in and watching them play. So.
Do you just have to assume that Steph's going to play and while you're preparing? You're not really
For sure. Obviously assume the worst and kind of go for that. If Steph's going to play, then we have ways to defend that, and if he doesn't, we have ways to defend whoever the lineup is. Again, they start Andre, so having them in there, and then even other lineups, maybe they don't feel like they match up well with it, so they start somebody else. So especially from the last game we played, had a different lineup, so we'll see.
And knowing how much y'all like to play that 3-guard lineup, obviously they have KD at the 3. What do you have to do knowing a lot of times you probably have a smaller guy against him, he likes to post up and all that kind of stuff?
Defend. Sit down and defend. We know that Kevin Durant is a scorer, and he can score from anywhere and everywhere. If it's at the rim, if it's all the way out to the 3-point line, if it's mid-range. He's damn near 7 feet tall, so just have to sit down and defend. And if you make shots, try to make them tough too.
For you individually, it seemed like in the Portland series you got to the basket more than probably you ever have, and you shot close to 60% from the field. What do you think were some of the reasons why you were able to just get into the lane so often?
I think a lot of it was Nico and Anthony. They were keying in on them. Rondo's penetration, and from there just being able to make cuts. Some one-on-one battles, just going to the basket, being aggressive. I was in a rhythm. I had a groove, so to be able to do that, they started to key in on me a little bit, throwing Chief on me or Al-Farouq on me, longer guard, but just being aggressive, trying to get to the basket and trying to make plays.
Do you feel like you guys are at the best point you've been in all season in terms of, it seems like when somebody cuts to the basket, there's a pass there. Nico did that a lot as far as reverse layups off cuts, and it seemed like you did that too. It just seems like you guys are at a really good point in the offensive understanding, like exactly what you need to do to get easy baskets.
Right. I think we're in a good groove. There was a 10-game win streak there where everything went pretty smooth. That was fun, but at this time in the season, just the level of intensity, I'd probably say that you're right. Just being able to go out there and make the right cuts, be in places where you're supposed to be, play for your teammates, and we've done a good job of that.
Jrue, how far do you play go back? I know last night you mentioned y'all's history, like going back when y'all were kids, I guess.
Yeah, middle school, high school. Just playing against him and his brother. His older brother, the one who was with Cleveland for a little bit. I think he was with San Francisco's, or with their D-League team. So just going back playing against them, my brothers my brother and his brothers. So knowing him, playing him well, played him in college, played him in high school, gradually seeing how great he's become. But it's fun to see people from where I'm from kind of grow up and be successful. But it's also fun to play against him where, he's one of the best shooters in the game right now.
People talk about him as a two-way player like you. Is that something you're looking forward to?
For sure. I love two-way players. It's not a knock to anybody, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do for 82 games. It's hard to do for 60 games. So to be able to do it, to be able to be on the best player every night, and your team still needs you to score is a big responsibility, and it's tough.
I know we asked you this before, but Rondo and AD were joking yesterday about, man, we haven't seen Jrue, this animated or this hyped up during games as we've seen during the playoffs. Is there any reason you think you're playing with like a little bit more fire right now, or you're talking to the crowd after big shots and stuff like that? Does that feel like it's something different for you right now?
No reason. Probably just atmosphere. No reason at all.
Where would you say you are, in relation to your whole career in terms of, physically, emotionally, mentally? I mean, it seems like you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'm in a really good place. Everything in my life is pretty good. So, family, basketball, financially, I got a bonus this year, so that's awesome. And I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good.
But you've been known for a lot of your career being more of like a laid-back type of player. Do you think playing with that extra fire kind of helps you right now during this time of season?
I do. I also feel like I always feel like I'm aggressive, but these games are a little different where you can key in on a certain team and be able to study them for a long time because you know you have at least 4 games. So I think mentally just locking into your matchup or the schemes or whatever it is brings out a little bit more intensity.
It's a different psychology than when it's in a series too, and you're going against guys all the time. I guess is that part of what goes into kind of your on-court persona being a little bit different? A little bit. I do know that in my position, I'm playing multiple players. I might have Steph, I might have Clay, I might have KD, I might have Andre if I get in foul trouble, I might have Draymond. So just to be able to lock into every person, but at the same time know that I guess for me, I have to be out on the court. So just if I'm not scoring, I know I can play defense. I know there's something I can do. So.
Are you aware of your different records and stats when your hair changes?
Oh yeah, they show me. I'm not really into that, to be honest. Like I'm not superstitious. I think the only time like I really took my hair out was a little murder braids. I think they called them like fishtails or something. Yeah. We lost 3 in a row after that, so I had to. And I mean, yeah. That was a rough 3 games. So. But other than that, I'm not superstitious whatsoever.
When it comes to mirror tape, are you superstitious with him?
For him, yeah. I am. You need to cut that off. For sure.